Well. Welcome back. We're still in the resources module of our business model. And so basically, right now we're going to talk about staff. So let's talk about hiring. Of course, if you're like most of us, you will be your own first employee in some form or fashion. We lucked out. We had one of our neighbors who was a young guy who was in between jobs, and he knew a lot about smoke shop paraphernalia and stuff. And so he ended up being our first employee. So it's a great opportunity to reach out. I think last year alone we had 15 employees and over 4 stores. So it's really a blessing to be able to touch other people's lives. Now, let's get into the nitty gritty with staff. Hiring. What we do is we post on websites such as Indeed.com. We even did a paid listing on Craigslist. You will get a ton of people looking at your smoke shop as a future employer, I should say. We don't do drug tests. I mean, if you think about it, that's how they are experts on some of the stuff that we sell. But what we do is we draw a line and say, do not do it here. Okay. Once we hire, once we do an interview, we have an employee handbook. And so basically the format that it covers disciplinary things, it covers the do's and don'ts, it covers employee checklist on opening, closing, everything like that. So our employees have to get trained. Now, this is all stuff that we can help provide to you or coach you on, but you're gonna kind of have to come up with your own system because basically it's just tough, man, to gain trust in people, to open up your building, to not steal from you, to not set the place on fire, and it is tough, So once we hire, we train, we orient them to the way we like stuff done through the checklists, through we also have to work on what we call a progressive disciplinary action. So let's say they're late. That's a warning. Let's say they're late again. That may be a written warning. They're late one more time. Well, we may have to go in and we may have to suspend them. They're late one more time, terminated, out the door. Now, we can escalate that, but basically that's how we do it. So we've kind of addressed hiring. We've kind of addressed some of the training. And we kind of addressed, the disciplinary way. Your staff is going to have a lot of downtime, because if you think about it, your store's going to be new. You're going to be marketing. You're going to be doing your website stuff, your social media stuff. You may be doing local advertising. You're going to have to get customers in there. So there's a lot of downtime. Our hours are pretty long. So from 11 o'clock to sometimes potentially 11 o'clock at night, your staff can be there, where they're in a staggered schedule, or sometimes they work a 12-hour shift, So they're going to have a lot of downtime. So that's one of the times that you want to use for training. So if they're unfamiliar with vapes and coils and juices, they need to be researching that in downtime. So there's little tips and tricks that you can use with your staff, and that's one of the activities that you have to do. But as far as resources, your staff is a resource. As part of our point of sale system, we also have a system called Homebase. And remember, our point of sale system is Clover. So Homebase actually does the scheduling. It allows you to do the schedule, and also it will text and or email schedules to the employees. So they can either download the app or some kind of way they've got text messages to their phones, and that allows them to be able to know their schedule. So Homebase and staff is very important. If you don't do home base, you can do all the manual thing, but we try to make sure that everything is as digital as it can be. You know, you kind of writing a schedule out on a calendar, hey, it works. It definitely works. Another option is that our payroll provider, ADP, they provide a system where it's like almost like a punch clock, you know. But hey, the integration, making things simple is the way to go. So that's one of the things you want to do. Staff is going to have, you're going to have ways to communicate with your staff. And so we've come up with a cell phone usage contract, which says quarterly we will pay $75 or $25 a month, but we'll pay it out quarterly in order to stay in touch with you. So that means group chats, group me apps, whatever we're going to use to communicate with you. Because we're not providing a phone, we go over and beyond to make sure that they feel comfortable using their phone. So that's one of the things you kind of want to look into also is hey, is it fair of me to hire this employee and not give them something in order to stay in touch? Also, that incentivizes them to say, hey, they're paying me, so I need to check these text messages as it relates to products, pricing, availability, events, and just general rapport. We'll go over in a future video that I'll add here some of the issues, some of the problems that we've had with staff, what some of the staff did to get fired, terminated. We'll go over some of those things. But as it is right now, you need to know there's hiring, there's training your staff, there's trusting your staff, there's disciplinary for the staff, there's rewards and bonuses. For instance, we have a commission plan. So if they sell certain items over $50, we give them 10% of that. So, you know, someone's selling $500 hookahs in one day, they made $50 extra in that day. You know, so we pay that out once a month. So there's certain things that you can do with your staff as a resource, and we'll be outlining and breaking out some of that in our FAQs, as well as some of our future Zoom calls and conference calls. Hope that helps with your staff. Just gives you a different way to think of things, and we'll kind of go from there. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to us so that we can get them answered on our FAQs or within some of our upcoming webinars. All right, thanks.